You should never check your partner's phone. And in this video, I'm going to give you the 3 reasons why you shouldn't check your partner's phone, your husband's or wife's phone. And also, I'm going to give you 3 tips to do instead. 3 tips to bring in transparency into your marriage. Should I check my husband's phone? I was trusting my husband for all these years, but somehow there is something wrong. There is something strange. For the last few weeks, for the last few months, he's on the phone all the time. And whenever I ask him, he's sort of hiding something from me. Or you could be saying, my wife always leaves her phone around, but now she just holds on to her phone. So it makes me feel suspicious. Well, if this is you, then obviously your mind would be saying, why don't you check our phone? There are a whole lot of applications that are available. Why don't you put them in so that you know for sure what's happening? But if you're thinking like this, then please don't do it. In this video, I'm going to share things that come from 15 years of my personal experience of being in a relationship, also my experience of working with my clients, helping them to revive their love story. Whatever I'm going to teach you might sound counterintuitive, but just hear me out because every tip that I'm going to share has a lot of depth in it. So let's jump into understanding the 3 reasons not to check your spouse's phone, and then we'll talk about what you can do instead to bring about transparency. The first reason not to check your partner's phone is it will affect your self-esteem. Let me explain this to you. There are 2 ways it will affect your self-esteem. The first way is checking somebody's phone is fundamentally doing something wrong. Doesn't matter whether they are flirtatious or any of these, but just the very act of getting into somebody's phone and checking their messages, a mind considers that as wrong, something that not supposed to be done. So when you do something that not supposed to be done, your respect in your own eyes is lowered. You start respecting yourself less. The second reason is it will affect your self-esteem in a way that it gives you a feeling that you're not good enough. Suppose if you find out that he's having an affair with somebody, the immediate feeling that you are going to get is that you're not good enough. And if you don't find anything, again your mind will say, oh, I'm not finding anything, that means he's hiding things or she's hiding things. So it will in a great way affect your self-esteem. The second reason is it will lower the trust in the relationship. It will lower the trust in the relationship. The relationship is built on the foundation of trust. The very fact that you are checking his phone, you're telling yourself that I don't trust him anymore. And it means that the foundation is shaken. If your partner finds out that you have been checking his phone or her phone, that lowers his trust on you. And the third thing, why it is not a great idea to check, and one of the things that are coming today are the rules around the phone. That means uh, as soon as people get into a relationship, let's be transparent. It means that I have the code to password to your phone or the fingerprint, and you have the same with mine. Having each other's password is a good thing, and it's really needed in emergencies. But when it becomes a rule, then the trust in the relationship is lost. Let's put it this way. Let's imagine that there is a workplace. Imagine that in a workplace, you're working there. And as you're working there, you realize that there's no coming in time. There's a time, there's no punching in. You can walk in anytime, but you have to deliver your work. What do you think is your trust level? Will it be high? Obviously. because you feel trusted by the organization. And because you feel trusted, you feel it's a innate desire to be trustworthy. Now imagine that out of the 20 people who work in your organization, 19 people come on time and one person doesn't. And because one person is not coming on time, they make a rule that you have to come on time. Now all the 20 people will come on time, but the motivation level will go down because the trust has gone down. And the same thing happens when we have rules around our relationship. The one thing that happens is that when there is a rule, we feel this deep desire to break it because the rule exists. The mom leaves the house, tells the son or the daughter, Smalley, there is a box of chocolates there, don't touch it. It's a rule. And the child feels that need to break it. And the same thing happens. And as soon as the rules are broken, that's why there's a saying that the rules are meant to be broken. So as soon as the rule is broken, we have a fight around that rule. That means I leave my phone here, I don't contact my ex, you contacted your ex, I saw it on the message, and now we have a fight. And it doesn't bring us closer. Now, what I've shared so far is not so important as what I'm going to share next. What I'm going to share next is I'm going to talk about the 3 things to do instead. You don't have to check into your partner's phone because there are better ways to do things. So let's look at the 3 things that you can do to strengthen your relationship, to bring trust into your relationship. People say that the biggest reason why we need to see each other's phone is because transparency, right? So the first thing to do is to focus on your goal. What's your goal? Your goal is not having each other's password. Your goal is to be transparent. So how do you bring transparency into the relationship? There are basically 2 things you got to do. The first thing is you got to be transparent. You got to be transparent. And by being transparent, you're uh, setting an example to your partner to be transparent. But when you're being transparent, be transparent without expectations. If you are going to be transparent with expectations, then you'll go back to having a rule. You got to be transparent because I am transparent. Again, it becomes a transactional relationship. The second thing, which is very important, is be comfortable with transparency. Many a times our partner is not transparent with us because we are not comfortable with them being transparent. So the guy will tell the girl, the husband might tell the wife, you know what, today I saw my ex. As soon as the wife hears this, it could be vice versa as well, but as soon as the other partner hears this, she gets uncomfortable with his transparency. And without saying anything, the husband picks it up. A brain is very sharp at picking up what the other person is feeling. The research says we are as quick as 1/300th of a millisecond. That's how a brain is, how quick a brain is. So as soon as the other person picks up that you're not comfortable with the transparency, certain facts, I call it as unpleasant truth, then the other person starts hiding. So you got to be comfortable with hearing the transparency. And after hearing it, what can you do instead of reacting to it? We'll talk about it later. But right now, it is important to understand that you got to be comfortable with transparency if you want your spouse to be transparent. The second thing is get out of criticism defensiveness loop. The biggest enemy in your relationship is not your ex. The biggest enemy in your relationship is not the phone, not the social media. The biggest enemy in your relationship is this loop of criticism defensiveness. It basically means how we talk to each other. Is it that every conversation of ours where one partner points out the mistake of the other, and the other person defends himself. Now, that is the pattern. The first person criticizes, and the other person becomes defensive. And because the other person is becoming defensive, this person criticizes even more. And round we go. So become aware whether your relationship, whether your conversations are becoming criticism defensiveness conversations. If they are, then find out your role, are your criticizer or the person who is defensive, and stop yourselves and get out of these roles. The third thing to do, if you want to have transparency, because that's your goal, is to become attractive. If you become attractive, your partner will not go to anybody, because there's no need. There's no need for your partner to run away to anybody. And how do you become attractive? And here I'm not talking about physical attractiveness. The physical attractiveness is the first thing when people get into a relationship. But after that, it is there are three things that I'm going to talk about. That is the attractiveness that keeps us in the relationship. The first thing is we become attractive when we learn the skills to manage our emotions, because we appear really mature. I'm not talking about controlling our emotions, I'm talking about managing our emotions. And managing, controlling our emotions means I am not going to show that I'm angry and I'm going to control it. Now that's controlling. I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about managing emotions. The first thing about managing emotions is not to react. Because when my partner talks about something that's not comfortable to me, the unpleasant truth, if I react, my partner will stop telling me, and becomes uh, hiding leads to, you know, telling lies, and telling lies leads to um, getting into whatever the person shouldn't be doing. So the first thing is not to react. The second thing is to become aware of the thoughts and feelings. So, what are my thoughts and feelings? When my partner does something, what runs through my mind? Becoming aware of that. And what are the feelings that I feel? If when my partner says that the ex contacted me, he or she asked me this, what do I feel? I become aware of it. I don't react to it, I become aware of it. And the third thing is, once I become aware, I share those thoughts and feelings with my partner without being critical. That's the very important thing. What happens is, because we are not trained, we share what comes to our mind, and whatever we say is criticism. It comes out as criticism. As soon as it is felt as criticism by a partner, he becomes defensive, and then we go round and round, and it's a never ending loop. So here you're going to share your thoughts and feelings, and share the deeper feelings, the primary feelings. So what are primary feelings? The top feeling is I'm irritated, I'm angry. These are the safe feelings. But when you share these feelings, no change comes about. So what you got to do is you got to share the deeper feelings. So deeper feelings are, when you talk to your partner, I feel insecure. Whole lot of thoughts run through my mind. Probably you're talking about your past and you're scared of it. But then you tell your partner, I'm not telling you not to do it. And that's the point we are going to look at it in the second, when we're going to go into the second part. But you're going to share your thoughts and feelings to your partner as they are. It could be your feeling of insecurity, it could be a feeling of jealousy, feeling unimportant, fear of losing your partner, the anxiety. Now, at initial stages, your partner will still be defensive, because if you had been in this loop for some time, your partner will still be defensive. But when you consistently keep to this pattern of just talking your thoughts and feelings without criticizing, your partner will understand. And more you do that, you become more attractive, because we love people who are mature. The second thing is give freedom to the other person, and that makes you again a mature person, and you appear attractive. So what does it mean? It means you let your partner decide for himself, and every time he decides to stay in the relationship, it is his decision, and he has chosen you over everybody in the world. Now that is really powerful. But when you hold on to the other person, put a cage around the other person, you really don't have that person with you, because that person has no life. So the second thing which will make you attractive is give freedom. It basically means, let me connect the two, sharing your thoughts and feelings. It means that, let's say your partner says, there's a lot of transparency in your relationship. Your partner doesn't have to hide anything from you. So your partner says, you know what, my ex contacted me, and for the last 3 days, she's telling me all these things. And you say, okay, I'm listening to you. The next thing, you're going to share your thoughts and feelings. You know, I feel insecure when she contacts you. I feel insecure, and I feel doubtful, and I feel unimportant, whatever you're feeling. Okay. And then you're going to tell your partner that in a nice way, not do what you want, not that way, but you're telling your partner, you know what, I don't know. I feel that you decide what is best for us and do it. If you want to keep in touch with her, this is what I'm feeling. So I'm letting you know that. Um, but if you feel like keeping in touch with her, go ahead. If not, end it. Now, by doing that, you're giving that person the freedom. And when we give the other person the freedom, the person can think for himself, and he would choose you over that person because you are somebody who is attractive. The third thing is bring back appreciation and gratitude. There are two things that really, absence of one and the presence of the other kill relationships. The presence of criticism and defensiveness in the relationship kills the relationship. If you are, just look at your past relationship, forget about this one, but the past relationships, they ended because you could be saying you was like this or you are like that, but if you look deeper, you'll realize that it ended because more and more you had these conversations of criticism and defensiveness. One person said you did this, and the other person said, no, I didn't do it. And you went round and round. The absence of appreciation and gratitude. If you notice that past relationship, slowly, initially, there was a lot of appreciation and gratitude. But with time, criticism, defensiveness got in, appreciation and gratitude got out. So here, in order to become attractive, make sure that you appreciate your partner for the smallest thing he or she does. And that makes you attractive. And be grateful, because great gratitude has huge potential to bring us closer. So that's all I wanted to share in this video. What I want you to do is I want you to look at all the points that I've shared. And then I want you to write in the comments, what do you think? What is your biggest takeaway from all this? Don't forget to like the video, don't forget to subscribe, and please do share it with someone who might benefit from watching this video. Until we connect again, take care and bye bye.